In this video, we'll be telling you about the hidden ways to spot an INFJ person. INFJ people are very complex. Some people think they're overstepping because of their highly accurate future predictions, and others think they have psychic abilities. Only 5% of the population falls into the INFJ category, so it's hard for other people to understand this personality type. If you're new to this channel, then INFJ is an acronym for Introversion, Intuition, Feeling, and Judgment. It comes from the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, which tells you about your personality out of 16 different types. Now, an INFJ is someone who's incredibly gifted at reading patterns and connecting dots. They're usually called the advocates and can be described as mysterious and emotionally intelligent. This is because they're quick to empathize with others, are exceptionally good listeners, and can easily figure out people's hidden intentions. It's almost like they can read your mind, but they're actually just very closely analyzing everything they see. If you want to find someone with this personality, here are 11 hidden ways to spot an INFJ person. Number 1. They feel lonely. There are very few INFJs in the world, so they find it hard to find others who look at the world in the same way they do. Because of this, most INFJs say that they feel lonely and different, even in the presence of other people. In fact, INFJs have an inherent feeling of loneliness ever since childhood. They find it hard to understand why others don't pick up patterns the way they do, and why nobody can relate to what they're saying. INFJs also tend to struggle with their own self-confidence and self-esteem. They're never very confident about their own abilities and feel the need to be more than what they already are. This trait is incredibly hard to spot because most INFJs come off as super confident and bold. But on the inside, they're probably overanalyzing and second-guessing their own decisions. If you want to spot this trait, you'll have to be really close to an INFJ. They only confide in their closest friends, so you're lucky to be a part of that exclusive little circle. Number 2. They have an all-or-nothing approach to life. These type of people are an interesting mix of emotion and logic. They don't want to waste their time on anything, but they also tend to dabble in playing the field for a bit. But hey, that's how they appear on the outside. If you look closer, INFJs are about quality over quantity. They're either super invested in something, or they're the most uninterested people in the world. In fact, they tend to perceive things as black and white, and there's not much gray area to play around in. If an INFJ notices that someone is being fraudulent or scheming around, they're likely to drop that person immediately. And with that incredible introverted intuition, they're very good at spotting people's true intentions. Number 3. Others feel comfortable in their presence. It's very common for strangers to come up to an INFJ and start talking about their deepest, darkest secrets. In fact, this happens so frequently to INFJs that they don't have a clue why people feel so comfortable in their presence. The hidden reason behind this is simply how empathic INFJs are. People immediately feel at ease around them because they're exceptionally good listeners. It doesn't take more than a few minutes for an INFJ to understand how the other person is feeling, so they do a great job at reacting appropriately. They also tend to speak in human terms, not robotic ones. You won't hear generic answers like, "Everything will be okay," from an INFJ. Instead, they know exactly how to meet others where they are. Number 4. They seek genuine truth and meaning in life. If you throw a huge surprise birthday party for an INFJ because you want something from them, they won't be impressed. In fact, they'll see right through you. These people aren't about grandiose tales and extravagant gestures if they aren't coming from a genuine place. An INFJ thinks of life as a way to seek insight and understand. They know there's more to life than what meets the eye, which is why they can come off very philosophical at times. As INFJs grow older, they can easily spot a lie or half-truth from a mile away. If they perceive someone as manipulative, they don't find it difficult to cut ties with them. On that note, INFJs also try to seek genuine truth and meaning in life by traveling and having experiences that help them self-reflect. In most cases, you'll probably find them reading or writing down at a coffee shop because they simply love seeking knowledge. Number 5. People can't understand whether they're introverts or extroverts. Most people find it really hard to understand whether INFJs are social butterflies or wallflowers. This is because they can easily blend into any social setting and become the life of the party, but they also value their privacy and like to be by themselves. Sounds confusing, right? Let's dive into the details. INFJs love meeting new people because it helps them build a bigger understanding of human beings. They like showcasing their inviting nature because they're huge empaths. At the same time, this social butterfly never stays for long because they lose energy when they're around people for too long. People who are friends with an INFJ would know that this person prefers bars over clubs and barbecues over balls. They can easily give a speech to thousands of people in a hall, but will also cringe at the idea of speaking to the crowd individually later. INFJs don't want to be known for their interests or quirks. Sometimes they might stick out like a sore thumb, but they'd also try to blend into a crowd or make new acquaintances. Usually INFJs are known to say something witty or start laughing out of nowhere because their socially awkward self takes over. And after every social interaction, INFJs need to spend some quiet time at home to recharge their social batteries. If they don't, they easily become exhausted and annoyed. Number 6. They only keep a small circle of friends. An INFJ will have hundreds of acquaintances, but only a few friends. In fact, if they refer to you as a friend, then they probably mean it for life. These people can count their close friends on one hand, and they'll stay loyal to them till the end. No matter how much time goes by without meeting a friend, INFJs will always have a way to reconnect with them immediately. Even though INFJs can be great team players, they're never comfortable with the idea of working with other people. In fact, they'd much rather work from home or a small office with a handful of other people. They clearly don't like sharing their personal space with other people. Number 7. They can't tolerate small talk. Now, this trait is somewhat similar to how INFJs want to seek the true meaning of life. If you see an INFJ at a party, you'll never see them engaging in small talk. These people think that small talk drains out your energy and has little purpose. There's no point in filling silence for the sake of it. For them, every conversation needs to have some meaning to it, even if it's just to reveal deeper layers of the people involved. It's easier to understand why INFJs don't like small talk when you think about how their brain works. They're constantly analyzing people and patterns, so they know more about people than what's on the surface. In fact, it's probably best that you never talk to an INFJ about the weather because you'll only get a side eye from them. Instead, tell them about the causes that speak to your soul, the wish list of your dreams, or the way you smile every time you see sunflowers because they remind you of your grandmother. Number 8. They're very creative writers. We've already talked about how INFJs like to spend time alone, but what do? Well, they write. INFJs typically have a variety of hobbies and skills. They try to learn as many things as possible because they want to enrich themselves with knowledge. Even though this personality type isn't very good at expressing their feelings verbally, they can be some of the best writers out there. They can turn pen to paper, to put their thoughts into words, and organize them to perfection. Writing is often a hobby for INFJs because of their creative nature and amazing memory. If they were to write a book, they'd easily become a best-selling author in no time. Number 9. They have a lot of deep thoughts. Think of INFJs as old souls who spend most of their time inside their minds. They reflect on their purpose in life and the meaning behind everything that happens. They're likely to be bookworms, researchers, or intellectuals who simply love gaining knowledge. With all this knowledge, INFJs have a variety of deep thoughts. They can come off as very philosophical in nature and always appear serious. In fact, they also operate about 10 steps ahead of everyone else. They're great planners who have their eyes fixed on the end goal. With a motive, they plan things out to the tiniest detail to reach a point of true contentment. Now, this might be hard to spot, so we'll give you a little tip. INFJs are usually people who are off in dreamland about their futures. They can easily forget to be present in the moment and are way too focused on what they want their future to look like. Number 10. They're organized, frugal, and focused. Like we said, INFJs are great planners. This means they know how to stay organized, but in their own creative way. They usually have strange organizing systems that only they can understand. For example, you might find an INFJ spending extra time organizing their closet by colors and making plans on how to clean out each room. At the same time, they'll probably leave clutter piles everywhere. If you look at their house, it'll probably be super messy, with boxes full of postcards and letters from 10 years ago. Apart from being organized, INFJs aren't the richest of people. They're very focused on ideas and emotions, so they forget to check their bank balance. Money isn't a huge priority in their life, so you won't find an INFJ worrying about finances and budgets. Number 11. They're very picky when choosing partners. INFJs take a very long time before they decide to date or marry anyone. They don't feel the need to be married by their early 20s. In fact, they're usually quite skeptical about long-term relationships. Many people think INFJs are asexual. In reality, they just have incredible self-control over their libido. They might lean over to the sapiosexual side a bit, but looks matter too. Considering how complicated this whole thing sounds, it's easy to understand how INFJs are super picky about their partners. Since they understand people all too well, they keep looking for the best possible option to date. Still, the older they get, the better their romantic prospects are. And even when they do get into a relationship, INFJs like physical touch more than anything else. No, it isn't because they like being touched. Instead, they use physical touch to understand more about their partner's personality and whether it's a good match. They can easily tell you about a person based off of how they touch their arms, hair, and shoulders. Even though they love compliments too, physical touch is just something that finally brings an INFJ back into the real world. And that's a wrap for this video. Can you spot an INFJ person now? What trait is the easiest to spot? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our other videos on our channel. Click now